We stopped making titles for these a long time ago.
Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight, a video cast about board games and card games, and especially the people who play them. On tonight's show, Tom and Crystal and I are cackling maniacally at the surprises that Tom has in store, but I believe we'll play another round of Board Game Survivor with the help of the live audience. We'll play Show and Tell with a few recent games, and then take your questions live. I'm Eric Summerer, and here's your host, the Volcar to my hapless island tourist, Tom Vassell.
Okay. So you've been watching the Kickstarter too, then?
I have. I backed it right away.
Did you?
I had to.
That was fast. We're talking, folks, about Fireball Island, which it funded in 70 minutes, 250,000. That is no small feat.
No, but I think I was not surprised in any way that it funded very, very quickly.
Oh, by the way, welcome to the show, Crystal.
Hi.
It's so nice back to Fireball Island.
Yes, Volcar is far more important to talk about.
By the way, folks, Crystal will be joining us because I needed someone to play games against Eric. It is just not. Eric just kept losing, and it's really embarrassing when he's not even playing against anybody.
Wow. Okay, sounds good.
That's the narrative. I control the narrative.
I think it's just because Tom got tired of making fun of Eric, and he needs somebody else to direct his sassiness too.
I have never got tired of that. But I will tell you, folks, before the show started tonight, it was so nerdy in here that I was feeling like I didn't belong.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage of having a third person, is that we can now team up to make Tom uncomfortable.
But that's why I'm going to have the vicious games to keep you guys from being too united.
Oh boy!
If you ever seen the Arrested Development episode where he pits his sons against each other,
oh gosh,
that is what I'm doing. I say that because I'm rewatching Arrested Development.
Is there a dead dove in the freezer that I need to go do not eat?
So we're getting way off track here, but we should talk briefly about Fireball Island because I think this is a pretty big thing. First of all, I think this is a game that's putting restoration games on the map. I think that's good. I mean, they had 3 good games last year, but this is now they have this huge hit. Secondly, it's good to see nostalgia is strong, but the game itself looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I think, this is the whole goal of what Restoration is doing. They're taking a game that has fond memories, people are remembering fondly, and they're updating it, they're improving it, they're making it a better experience. And I was sort of on the fence until I heard Rob Daviau doing they've been doing a lot of press interviews, and he won me over talking about what they've changed, how this is a better game, how the physics of the physical island are more interesting, and how there's more marbles, more paths, more variation, more randomness. It takes all the stuff you remember about the game and sort of amps it up. He won me over.
He won me over when he said, "We're remaking Fireball Island." I was much easier than Eric.
Well, because he said he's not just making it bigger and better than the original. He's trying to make it bigger and better than people remember the original to be. And that's a tall order.
Agreed. All right. Well, Kickstarter, this is really, if you're a Kickstarter junkie, March and April are the worst 2 months of the year. There are so many games being released. It's ridiculous. Have fun trying to back all these games.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about some games here. First of all, I have a confession to make. I actually forgot. This has not happened yet. This is the first time in Dice Tower Tonight history on all of our 7 episodes. I forgot to review the game that we picked last time, Eric.
Oh, no.
In fact, I forgot what the game was. I was sitting there saying, I was supposed to review a game. Was it the taco one? No, I know the taco one lost. No. That's how strong the taco one was. That it was like Grump or something, right? It's sitting in my car. I'll have it done by next episode.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
Well, did you review the game that you got yet?
I didn't get one from you because you sent it to Crystal.
Yeah, see? Haha. Oh, it's covered in peanuts, but an island hopper. Which admittedly just showed up in the mail today, so
review it.
Really.
Actually, you have played it already, so.
I have played it, but this will be my first formal video review, so we definitely picked a good game for that. My launch of my video review career is going to be Island Hopper. You're welcome, Scott Alms.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to each talk about a game, and then we'll jump into our game show. All right, so first of all, I'm going to talk about something that's not quite a game, but it's pretty awesome, and that's the Maze of Games. Have you guys seen this?
Oh, I want this.
Do you want this, Eric? Because I have two.
You are.
Okay, so yeah, but here's what I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about drawing in one and then keeping the other.
Oh.
That's a lie. That's so nonsensical. The fact that that even crossed my mind sickens me, folks. You write in books. It's a puzzle book. There's like a... Okay, anyway, so what this is it's an interactive puzzle novel by Mike Selinger. And so you start off and you read this book, and it talks about some sassy kid. And you get to this puzzle here. And this puzzle is going to... you gotta line these things up, okay? Whatever. You gotta... It's a puzzle. There's all sorts of crossword puzzles and mazes, but the book is not written in order. So it will tell you then which... There's cards down here at the bottom of the pages. And so you might go here to this maze, which looks easy, but it's actually trickier than that. And there's all sorts of various puzzles, and I love puzzles. Games Magazine is amazing. And so I think this book may literally last me the rest of my life at the rate I'm going through it. But so far, I've learned a couple things. Mike Slinker is a hellishly mean designer when it comes to puzzles. They're difficult. 2, the story is decent. It's not amazing, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm having a lot of fun. The problem with this is there's not a whole lot of these out in the wild. I don't think he made a ton of them.
Really? I think he's on like the 2nd or 3rd printing, isn't he?
So I'm lying. I thought there was not that many of them, and I felt more special than I actually was. But that's the Maze of Games. It's not technically, it's just a big giant book of puzzles, but it's kind of like an escape room puzzle thing.
Yeah. And
Eric says he wants one.
I do. There's also an audio version narrated by Mr. Wheaton.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, totally. What? It's a puzzle book. I don't need a narration of it.
Yeah, but Will Wheaton.
This whole audio narrated thing is over.
Wait. No. Don't. Let's not rag on audio narration in general.
Yeah.
Eric, have you ever met somebody who did kind of show disdain for your job for real? Like, it must be easy to read all day.
No, I don't think anybody who's actually tried to read all day is disdainful of the concept.
Well, I'm going to hire someone to do that.
Thanks.
Come up at a convention. If you come up at a convention and do that and make mean jokes about Eric, I will give you a reward.
Really? Thank you. I can't wait for this interaction. See you guys at Origins.
All
right, who else has a game?
I do. Hang on. So, this is Oh Captain.
My Captain.
Oh Captain. This is from a like a larger universe called The Legends of Luma, but as far as I know, this is the only game, or at least the first game in that series. So Tom knows of a second one, but I haven't seen it. So this is a pretty well overproduced game. It's got this, pull-out box, and inside, this whole thing folds down, and then there's the rule book, and you've got a captain marker that's a message in a bottle. That's pretty cool. And then you've got this tray that holds... Oh, my son sort of booby-trapped this on me. This tray that holds the deck that you pass around from player to player.
That piece there is one of the coolest card trays I've ever used in a game.
It's pretty neat. It's nice and convenient. The point that it actually has a use in the game because you're passing the deck around as you draw cards. So one player is the captain, and they are sort of presiding over the game, and then the other players take turns drawing a card from this deck, and then they tell the captain, "Well, this is an anchor. Do you want to buy this anchor from me?" And the captain may pay them to buy the card and then get to use the magic power of the card. Or the captain says, "No, I don't want that." And so then the player gets to use the power of the card they claim it to be. This is a little bit like Coup, if you're familiar with that game, where you can claim that a card is what you say it is, even if it isn't. And then you get to do the power of the thing you say it is. So you might be stealing a coin from an opponent. You might be taking a card from an opponent, destroying a card. I don't think you actually get to take the card. You get to destroy a card that's on the table. But the other player can then go, you know what? No, I don't believe you. And then you have a little showdown where you either reveal it to be what you say it is, at which point you get a bonus, you get an additional coin from them in addition to getting to do the bad thing, or you reveal it in front of you and say, "Oh yeah, that wasn't what it is. You have to pay them a coin." Then around all this, there's a set collection aspect where you're trying to get the most of the lanterns or the most of the harpoons and stuff like that. Also, there's points for lantern cards. There are also these dragon eggs, which are negative points, but every time you get one of those, you have to claim it something else. And you're trying to eventually get more points. It's forced lying. You can also, once you have enough money, if you have more money than the captain, you can try and mutiny. You can try and take over for the captain. In fact, if you have more money, you have to make this choice. You either support the captain, at which point the captain gets to draw more money and, things go on as they did, or you take over for the captain, whereas you get some more money and now you're presiding over everything. The captain gets to look at the discard pile so they know what's already out of the game, and they get to make a bunch of decisions and decide when they're buying cards and stuff, but you aren't earning cards and getting to do as many actions. You're not really in control of each individual action, so you have to choose your time when you want to take control, if you do at all. My son adores this game. He's played it close to a dozen times now, teaching it to various people. He really likes it a lot. I don't mind it. This isn't my favorite style of game, the whole forced bluffing, forced lying sort of style of game. But my son really likes this, and it's like his convention go-to game now. So I gotta think there's value in that. Oh, Captain!
I'm teaching your kids to lie.
Yes, yes,
Teaching
indeed.
kids when it's appropriate to lie.
It's bluffing,
which for me is like in a game.
Yeah.
Only in a game.
But I like it. It's a well-produced game. Oh, Captain! Thumbs up.
The second game is better than the first. I think you'll like the second one, actually, Eric.
All right, what type of game is it?
It's a Mancala style game.
Okay.
So
did you play a game, Crystal?
Yes. Well, I didn't bring one because I don't own the game that I played, but I got to recently play an older game that I'm sure a lot of the people watching have probably played before, because it came out in 2007 and was nominated for a bunch of awards in 2008. That is Thebes, which I had never played until recently. And I will admit, when I see a game that looks like Thebes, where it's kind of like, brown and gray tones, generic, adventuring type, trading in the wherever, like I immediately kind of just go, and it always looks boring. And I was pleasantly surprised by this one. So for those who aren't familiar, in Thebes, you are archaeologists competing to collect the most artifacts and show them off at exhibitions in an attempt to gain victory points. And the game utilizes a time track similar to the one used in Patchwork, which I had only played a game like this in Patchwork before. I'd never played a different game that had this same mechanism, where whoever is in last on this track gets to take actions until they're no longer in last. So you can theoretically take a bunch of actions all in a row if you plan it out well. So you move around the board and you collect knowledge about specific dig sites and items that'll help you dig. Then you go to the dig sites, and when you get to dig at a specific place, you take the bag associated with that place, and you literally get to dig in it based on how much knowledge you've collected and how many weeks you want to spend digging. It's surprisingly thematic feeling for what it is, and the feel of digging in that bag and pulling out nothing but sand half the time is both exciting and also disappointing. So there's a little bit of a luck factor involved, but if you play strategically, you can kind of mitigate that. I had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it, honestly. I've liked a bunch of Queen's games, and this is one that I enjoyed quite a bit and probably will end up picking up.
Yeah, I think it's out of print, actually, but there's also a Thebes card game out there, which is pretty much the same game, just in a card version, so it's cheaper, but you do miss the pulling stuff out of a bag aspect to it.
And I think that was, aside from the time track, the pulling stuff out of the bag was probably my favorite part. So I don't know if the card game would do it for me, but yeah, if it's out of print, maybe that's all I'll be able to get my hands on.
I think I ended up with a fistful of dirt one too many times in that game. So yes, I appreciate Thebes, but it's not one that I'm dying to play a lot.
Yeah,
You're
like
a bitter
definitely.
player.
You should spend more weeks digging, clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
All right, so let's talk about our game that we play every episode, in which we take 7 games and seven games. Yes, well, that's because the rules have changed. All right, so here's how it works. First, we're going to play a trivia style game between Eric and Crystal. One of them will win, and Eric will lose, or Eric will win and another will lose. I don't know. I'm not being very pithy here, actually, but then we're going to play this other game where we have the 7 games, and the audience will help me eliminate a game each round. The winner and loser will also get to eliminate some games till we're down to 3 games. The audience will eliminate one of those 3 games. Then the winner of the trivia thing will pick one of the remaining 2 that they would like to review, and the loser has to review the other one.
Oh.
Things just got interesting.
Yes. Steaks. We love steaks.
I do like steaks.
Only medium rare, but okay.
I'm more of a medium kind of guy. All right, so we're just going to play a very similar game to what we did last time of top 10 lists. So I made some top 10 lists here. We have 3 of them. I have all the things have points, and these lists are right, so don't argue with me. All right, so Crystal's newer than Eric, so she gets to go first. We're going to start with the first one. You can't cheat. Look this stuff up online. But mathematically speaking, and when you play a game of Monopoly, what space do people land on the most? It's not equal because there are cards that send you to spaces. There's a chance that you can go to jail or rolling doubles and things like that. So some spaces are definitely landed on less than other spaces. So what are the 10 spaces? You might be thinking in your head, I don't even remember all the names of the spaces on Monopoly. Well, that's bad for you. So, okay. Crystal, you're first. If you get it wrong, you get 0 points.
Okay. Well, jail would be the first one, I would say.
We're going to exclude jail from this one here.
Okay. So second,
because you don't ever land on jail.
You can.
You can land on just visiting.
You can just visiting. Okay. Well,
was that what you were saying then?
No, because just visiting you don't get sent to. I'll say luxury tax.
Luxury tax. That's a good choice. Eric, you have a chance to win now. I'll put 1 X here for 1 error.
St. James Place.
St. James Place is the 7th most landed on spot, and that gives Eric 4 points. Eric, what color is that?
That is an orange property.
That's correct. There's no bonus points in this game, though. All right, back to you, Crystal.
Oh, gosh. Let's go with... Can we count Go? Does Go count?
You can count Go. Would you like to say Go?
I'll say Go.
All right, Eric, here's your chance to pull ahead some more.
Marvin Gardens.
Marvin Gardens. What color is that, Eric?
Is that green?
No.
No, that's orange.
It's yellow.
It's yellow.
Okay.
But that is also wrong. That is also, you don't get points for Eric being wrong. Otherwise, he'd still be ahead. All right, back to you. So you guys have got, how many spaces are on a Monopoly board?
I don't know.
Well, there's 10 on the side, so it's 40.
Is it 40?
Are they shared corners? So then it wouldn't be 40. It would be 38? 10, 10, 8, 8. So it'd be 36.
36. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
All right. So far out of 36, you've gotten 1/12 of them that were wrong and
Perfect.
1 that's right. All right. Back to you, Crystal.
The utility space thing.
Which one? There's 2.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
So let's say the electric company.
While a great fun TV show, erroneous. Back to you, Eric.
Let's say Connecticut Avenue.
Connecticut Avenue. That's a good choice. It is wrong. I'm going to explain why you guys are wrong shortly.
Okay, that's cool. I'm going to say the B&O Railroad.
What? The number 2 answer. 9 points for Crystal. Eric, you're behind now.
Oh, great. Chance.
Ooh.
Which one?
There's more than one?
Chance. You've got them categorized. The one after jail.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No. All right, Crystal. Here's your chance to really pull ahead.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna say Baltic Avenue.
Oh, an excellent wrong choice. Eric.
This is more just a test of my remembering of the spaces on a Monopoly board.
Ventnor.
Ventnor Avenue. That is incorrect. Last chance, Crystal. If you get this wrong, the round will end.
All right, I'm gonna go with Waterworks.
Waterworks. That's the correct one to pick. That's 3 points. That was the number 8 position. Eric.
Reading Railroad.
Reading Railroad. That's the number 4 position. 7 points. It's 12-11. Crystal leads by a single point.
Oh gosh.
All right. Well, this is the last one, whether right or wrong for both of you. Crystal.
Well, now I want to name another railroad, but I can't remember the names of the other 2 railroads. We'll say free parking.
Free parking is a freely wrong answer. I'm running out of things to say here.
Short line.
Oh,
Short line.
No.
No.
Ooh.
All right. So here's the ones you missed. Number 10. What color is the most landed on spot and the most valuable ones to own in Monopoly? And that's the red color. Number 10, Indiana Avenue. Number 9, Kentucky Avenue. Number 8, the Waterworks. Number 7, St. James Place. Number 6, Pennsylvania Avenue. Number 5, Tennessee Avenue. Number 4, the Reading Railroad. Number 3, New York Avenue. Did I say red was the best? I meant orange. Red's the second best. Number 2, the B&O Railroad. And number 1, Illinois Avenue.
That is interesting.
All right, that's our game thing. Let's go to a non-game category. According to Fitness Magazine, and I think that they are authority on the subject, the 10 healthiest foods in the world. Now, when I say food here, I'm not talking about, it's not a combined food. So like spaghetti is not, because spaghetti is made up of pasta, tomato sauce, meatballs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great. All right, Eric, you get to go first this time.
Let's go with flax seeds.
Oh, that you weren't kidding. Oh, okay, no.
How
Who eats
about
flax seeds?
healthy people?
Yeah, if you want to lower your cholesterol.
I'm going to say kale.
See, have you listened to Jim Gaffigan? He'll tell you exactly what's up with kale. No.
Oh, I know Jim Gaffigan's thoughts on kale and Hot Pockets and all of that.
No, but really, kale is good, but it's not that healthy for you. It's like one of those, hey, Fitness Magazine, shut up. Eric. Sorry, I didn't mean to say shut up. In case my kids were in a room or something. All right.
Avocado.
Yes, avocados are number 7 on the list. 4 points for Eric. You would think there'd be like all these thin people in Florida since avocados are essentially just rolling around on the ground here.
How about wheatgrass?
Wheatgrass. You guys are thinking way too hard. No.
Quinoa.
Eric didn't listen to the statement I just made. No. Like my kids could guess these. All right, Crystal.
Okay, your kids could guess them. How about an apple?
It keeps the doctor away and also gives no points. Back to you, Eric.
Celery.
No, celery's not bad for you, but it's really not good for you either. It's like a nothing thing.
Right. You burn calories by chewing it.
All right,
That's
spinach.
Yes, thank you, Popeye. Spinach is number 9. It gives you 2 points.
Almonds.
Almonds, a nut. That's a good idea. No points.
Oranges.
Oranges. The citrus family. No oranges.
This game's great.
It's so good.
Let's say. We've done all the greens. Carrots.
Ooh.
Carrots are not healthy for you, actually. They're full of sugar. No.
All right. Well, you said we've done all the greens, but I don't think we have because we haven't said broccoli.
Broccoli is the number 2 choice with 9 points for Crystal. I told you guys were like overthinking it.
Yeah.
Broccoli, man. All right, back to you, Eric.
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, disgusting and not on the list.
Asparagus.
Asparagus, delicious, but also not on the list. And that makes, let me see. Oh, that's the end of the round. You guys got 3 out of 10. Number 10, beans. Do you know what beans are good for? Your heart.
Why is that, Tom?
Because they produce a lot of cholesterol and things, and it's good for your heart. It makes your heart beat faster. At least that's the chant we said when we were kids.
Well, of course.
Number 9 is spinach, which was said. Number 8, garlic. Number 7, avocados. Number 6, walnuts. Number 5, salmon. Number 4, potatoes. Number 3, dark chocolate. Number 2, broccoli. And number 1, lemons.
So we had members of a lot of those families, just the wrong members of those.
And if you notice, when you said that, I would say things like,
I know.
Citrus family. And then no one said anything. All right, final category. In this one, I have included 20 possible answers.
Oh,
all right, but the bottom 5 are only worth 1 point each. So if you go to Board Game Geek and you do a search for the top rated games, and then you click on one of their subcategories. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. It's a very useful thing to do. So I clicked on the subcategory animals. So you need to list a game that's in the top 20. Now, I'm not saying this game is about animals. I'm saying that Board Game Geek has this under the category of animals.
So when you say top 20, you mean top 20 rated on Board Game Geek that fall into that subcategory?
By ranking, I believe 3 of these are in the top 100, and then they just go down from there, obviously.
Okay.
So, Crystal, you're first. Right now, let's see our scores. It is 23 for Crystal and 15 for Eric. But since the number 1 answer is worth 15 points, Eric could pull ahead. No pressure.
Right. Yeah, no pressure at all. Everything is fine.
That's not a game? That's wrong.
I'm going to say animal upon animal.
Animal upon animal. An excellent wrong choice.
Wow.
That's a kid's game. They're not usually rated that high.
I'll start with Zularetto.
Zularetto. That is a really good choice. Wrong.
I'm going to say
not in the top 20.
Evolution.
Evolution. I guess those are animals, right? Of course they're animals. That's number 11. 5 points for Crystal.
Golly.
Yeah, this is a hard one. I'm like trying to look at my game shelf downstairs and scope out what I
don't have any games in here. Gloomhaven.
Yes. Not on the list.
Oh.
There's like a fighting dog in it. That counts.
Do expansions count, or are we talking base games only?
I am not doing expansions.
Okay, because if it was expansions, I might have said Arcadia Quest Pets, but if that's not the case, then...
No, there was one expansion that would have made the list, and it would have been the Smash Up Pretty Pretty Princess one. Because there's a stupid cats faction in that.
Gotcha. Let's say... Oh, something with animals in it. Animals on Board. I know that's not that highly rated, but I can't think of anything else.
It is not. Good. All right. You guys are all there has to be maybe is animals in the game, right? All right, Eric, what do you got?
Meeple Circus.
Meeple Circus. That's not high enough on the list. Sorry.
Okay. Agricola?
Agricola is on the list in the number 2 position, 14 points. There's animals in Agricola.
Right.
He just told us that. Like, yeah, he said if there's animals in it, and I was like, okay, well, you have animals, so.
Mice and Mystics.
Mice and Mystics. That's a good choice. No points.
I mean, let's continue down the same path and say Caverna.
Eric, this is problematic for you. The number 1 answer is Caverna. 15 points for Crystal. I'm not sure we need to keep playing.
I don't think we need to keep going.
That seems like a solid win. 29, 34 more points. Eric, you get one more guess.
How about Caverna,
Wait, hold on,
all
hold on.
creatures great and small, or no, Caverna, cave versus cave.
I was gonna say, like, if Eric could get the number 3 answer, like that might have been like we could have.
Eric, you can't combine 2 different games here.
I know. The cave versus cave. Caverna, cave versus cave.
No, but you should have went with your other option.
Agricola.
Since it's called Agricola, all creatures great and small. All right. Number 20 is Snowtails.
Oh, I do
Number
own
19
that.
is Rhino Hero.
I own that too.
Number 18, Reef Encounter. Number 17, Eric was close when he said Zuluretto. Coloretto is actually higher.
Really?
Number 16, Through the Desert with camels. Number 15, Mermies, Ants. One of the first games Eric and I ever played together. Number 14, Barren Park with bears.
Oh, yeah.
Number 13, Camel Up with camels. Number 12, Raptor with raptors. Number 11, Evolution. Number 10, Survive. Apparently the whales and sharks count.
Okay.
Number 9, Takinoko. You guys should have thought of that one. Number 8, Hive. Number 7, Agricola, all creatures great and small, or big and small. Number 6, Dungeon Pets.
Oh, gosh.
Number 5, Jaipur, because of camels. Number 4, Dominant Species, which is pretty much all about animals. And number 3, this one you could probably complain about, 5 Tribes. I guess because there's camels in it?
I mean, that's a stretch.
It is a stretch. We're going by Board Game Geek, and then Agricola.
I'm not complaining about your list. I'm just saying the Board Game Geek.
It's BGG's list, not mine. Okay. Although someday we're going to do a my list, and you guys are going to have to find out what's in my brain. All right, so 57 for Crystal, 15 for Eric. That's a clear victory. But good news for you, Eric. Almost all the games I brought are good, I think. So here we are, folks. This is where you're involved. I've been watching you guys. They were doing very well, by the way, the listeners, on all these answers.
Oh, really? Wait, why weren't we cheating? Darn it.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you 7 games, and in the beginning, in the first round, we're just going to look at the covers and read the back of the box. And you're going to only go by that, and then the listeners are going to vote one out, and then Crystal, as the winner, will pick another one to go out. In round 2, I will open the boxes up, look inside them. The listeners will vote one out, and Eric will vote one of the other ones to go out. Then we'll be down to 3 games. The listeners, I will then try to guess how the game plays, and shockingly find out involves dropping things on the table. And then the listeners will vote one of those 3 out. Crystal will pick one for herself, and Eric gets the other one. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm going to actually just... I'm going to quick put myself here on permanent so that... Okay. Game number 1. A very boring-looking box called Tribes, Early Civilization. This is from Rustin Hawkinson.
The
And the back of the box...
of Nations?
Yes, the designer of Nations and several other games. It says it somewhere on the box there. Well, maybe it doesn't. But he did design those other games. Anyhow, it's a tribe. I mean, the back of this box, this is a horrific box.
Yeah,
that does not look good at all.
No.
However, it's hefty. I don't know what's inside here because I haven't looked in it yet. And also, this guy's a good designer because Nations, the dice game, great game.
Oh,
That's game number 1.
I'm not
That's
taking that.
Tribes.
I should note, Tom, that we've reviewed that game on this very program.
Which one?
Tribes.
I didn't review it. You must
I
have.
showed it in front of the camera, and we looked at the graphic design and everything.
That's true. Well, you know what? It's in the game because I'm not making a change this week.
Gotcha.
You don't have any
So if you have to
tacos to
review
throw
it
in this
again-
time?
No, there's no tacos. No more of this nonsense. I'm sticking with it. Cartography from Playford Games. This is an abstract-looking game. Extend your kingdom by a map. You found an ancient Chinese map, and you're trying to put it together. But other players are trying to surround you. So you can see this like abstract-style game there with rivers and stuff. It looks like that boring game Eric likes.
Which one?
You fell into that trap. All right, now the next one is Temp Workers Assassins. Temp Worker Assassins. This game, you've been hired to infiltrate Bureaucrat Castle, and you're going to try to take as many employees as possible. And it is a deck-building worker placement game for 2 to 4 players. There's the picture at the back of the box. They didn't put the cover on right, but that's Temp Worker Assassins. The next one looks pretty, actually. It's called Enchanters. It's a like pretty looking box. This is from Looty Creations. It has a unicorn on there. It says, "You will love this game if you want to play right out of the box. Enjoy simple rules with lots of variety. Cherish beautiful illustrations and like fantasy with a bit of humor." Maybe they should tell me what the game is about. But anyway, the cards on here look pretty nice. Looks interesting, a fantasy style game. I don't know what kind it is. And there's 150 cards in here, paper mat, crystal markers. Not suitable for kids under 36 months. All right, anyway, that's Enchanters. Looks pretty. If you pick this next game, you will get 2 different games. But I'm pretty sure they're the same game, just 2 versions of it, because they both have the same name. We have Dwarves in Trouble and Dwarves in Trouble. Maybe you put them together and the dragon is, and this is the dragon, he's facing you, and these guys are like, "Wah, the dragon." I don't know. It's a non-collectible card game, and it's an easy and witty game, says the company. Players take the roles of dwarf treasure seekers who are trying to survive an encounter with a furious dragon. I'm reading the both boxes at the same time. The company's running away, and in the same time is trying to get rid of looted treasure. You're trying to get rid of your treasure. In fact, if you look, the back of the box shows the same pictures. This could be the same game with different covers. I don't even know. Let's look at the UPC.
If it is different games, then that's
the same.
The worst.
Probably just
On the
different
side,
sets of
it's
cards.
the same. I don't know. It doesn't mention. But we'll never know if people voted out. All right, next one. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'll let Eric.
Somnicum.
Somnicum, okay. The guardian of magical sand, the keeper of the keys of the nightmare caves, and master of all dreams, the Sandman has disappeared. His lands are declining, and people cannot have dreams anymore. That's a bummer. You're trying to fix it and take creation of dreams upon yourselves. Blah, blah, blah. You're trying to reverse the situation. This is from Gaga Games. I don't know anything about it. There's some of the cards that are inside.
That one
And then finally, this one's the biggest box of all. I don't know if that's going to tilt people in its favor. We have Cavern Tavern. Now, you might recognize his artwork here. This is done by the same guy who did the stuff for Valerius. Can you tell? Okay. Well, thanks for being interactive there.
Yeah.
All right, so Cavern Tavern is a worker dice placement and resource management board game that's set in a fantasy world. You are a worker in a tavern serving drinks, work in a kitchen, do chores, and try to keep every guest happy, including the nasty and greedy barkeep. You have dice, which are your actions, and you'll assign them to 21 locations. So this is what the back of the box looks like. Ooh. All right. So people who are watching, you're going to vote for one of these to leave. You can get rid of Cavern Tavern. You can get rid of Somnicum. You can get rid of the double duo Dwarves in Trouble. You can get rid of Enchanters. You can get rid of Temp Work Assassins. You can get rid of Cartography. You can also get rid of tribes and make this game a fairer game since Eric's already reviewed it. And you can tell I obviously listened to his reviews as always. But Eric also does not remember all the games I reviewed, so we're fair.
Sure.
All right, so pick one that you want us to get rid of.
I like how it's double dwarves in trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Oh, interesting.
Yay, they're voting for two
what's
of the games that I would have eliminated.
What'd you have? Oh, it's close. Close. It's not close. All right, Tribes is gone.
Oh.
Hooray for
All
tilting the crown. All right, Crystal. Of these games, which one is gone next?
Cartography is out.
Whoa.
So much for people liking abstract strategy. Eric, you could have kept that one in, but you know what?
I could have. I actually got to see a prototype of that at Gamma like 2 or 3 years ago.
I mean,
did it look good?
It looked as an interesting abstract, but that's about it.
All right, now it's time to open the boxes, and we're going to eliminate 2. But this time, Eric gets to choose.
Woohoo!
First, we're going to open Temporary Worker Assassins and see what's inside here. A rule book.
That's the other one I probably
a pile of meeples. They don't look like assassins to me, but whatever. And then 2 decks of cards. This one's a pretty chunky deck. It shows things like this. +2 attack, draw a card. That is a Thursday Bulletin. Here we have a +1 attack, an Unremorseful Ruler, which looks like it has blood on it. I think you've used that blood. Oh my goodness, this is worse. What have you been doing with that stapler?
Wow. And
can you actually even do this with a rolled up newspaper? Okay, so
newspaper.
What I'm telling here is there's a lot of blood in this game. Yeah, okay, all these cards are looking like this. Oh, wow. A not so floppy disk. Okay, I'm actually... Well, this got more interesting now. Now there's a Financial Fire Demon. Maybe that's the kind of guy you're supposed to take out. Oh, wow, there's like just lots of these weapons in here. Okay, so that whole deck is weapons and a few people you need to take out. I have another deck of cards, though, in here. This has a Typing Pool Zombie in it. A Customer's Relation Devil. I guess I'm feeling a lot less bad about taking these people out when there's people like that.
So basically, this is an office that's like infested with horrible demons, and you are supposed to go in and take care of them?
This is the game version of the song R.E. Your Brains by Jonathan Colton.
Yes.
Crystal, Jonathan Colton is not allowed to be talked around here because Eric starts salivating.
I mean, I didn't bring up Weird Al.
Yet.
Actually, what's that? Is that the song? All we want
to do is eat your brains.
Eat your brains.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
fun.
actually like that song. So, all right, fine. All right. So that's Temp Work Assassins. Now we have Enchanters. What could be in this box? A rule book.
Good.
That's a pretty long rule book, actually. 23 pages. That's mostly example. Okay. Well, they weren't kidding about the paper board. I don't like paper boards that much, but maybe it's not necessary. We got some cool looking counters. More cool looking counters. Some giant cards, or I'm not sure what these are exactly. They look like castles or something.
Locations.
The artwork is really nice in this game. And then 3 decks of cards. Which I can't get open. I will get this open. Got it. All right, so this says of Thebes on it. Does that mean you combine it with something else? This says of alchemy, and this says of gold.
Yeah.
So maybe I mix a harp of gold. Man, the artwork in this game it's hard to show, over the camera. It's really popping. I really like how the artwork looks in this game.
It looks like they're going for a Hearthstone sort of aesthetic.
Yeah. That is what it looks like. And the card quality is actually pretty good, too. So
I mean, they skimped on the mat, so they had to put the money somewhere.
Exactly.
Well, what, do you think they actually took Hearthstone? I can't open these cards. I'm feeling a little useless here.
I mean, we'd help, but we can't.
You guys are the worst, making me do it.
Yeah, you open everything,
So
Tom.
While we're doing this, have you ever had someone in your play group who like managed to never help put a game away?
I don't think so. For my regular game group, most people are pretty cool about it. And in fact, especially I'll know that somebody has to leave by a certain time, and I'll specifically be like, no, you don't need to help put the game away. You can go. Because everybody in my game group is actually pretty nice about that. So it's good.
But what about when you get a game end, it was like, you need to take all the pieces of your color. So there's a big pile there, and one person's kind of like, they just wait. And after everyone has taken their color, they're like, and
They just
I'll
take
these.
everything.
But then they
I
can
definitely have
disguise
had people
that,
do that.
under the guise of, I don't care what player color I am. But really, they just don't want to sort out the pieces.
All right. So anyway, some more artwork. I am really, whether we pick this game or not, I'm just really impressed with this ripoff. Is that Cthulhu? Good grief. But it still looks pretty cool. All right. So that's Enchantress. Enchanters. Sorry. All right. I'm really curious about this. Dwarves in Trouble. And Dwarves in Trouble. Do you think they're identical games with different covers?
I think they're, because they said it's a non-collectible card game. I bet they're two different sets of cards.
But if they
okay, you got to
I
take
work
the
in
opposite
marketing, and I'm just thinking of all the ways in my head that's bad.
Right. I mean, it
rules
should
look
be
the
a lot
same.
clearer.
Okay, so on top we have some reference sheets. It's the same for both games. We have, 4 sheets of counters of coins in both. And then we have this deck of cards in one that has a whip round on it, and this deck here which has a whip round on it. It's not looking good for the people thinking they're different. But I will open both decks up. Although I just realized, for the life of me, I can't remember which of these decks went which box.
Yeah.
That could be problematic.
It's probably fine.
So, whip round, don't bother. No way. Wrong way, narrow passage is a trap, tax rebate, dragon's fire, dragon's wrath. Let's see here. Whip round, don't bother, it's not mine, no way, keep the change, dragon's treasure, narrow passage is a trap. These are exactly the same with different covers. Interesting. Dwarves in Trouble. Maybe one of them was like a Kickstarter. I don't know. You think they would say this?
Interesting.
You would think.
Interesting means bad for Eric. Okay. Somnicum, or however you say this one. Inside here is a rule book, a bunch of pre-punched counters.
Ooh, I don't like punching games, so I'm already a fan.
This bag says replacement on it.
It says replacement.
I'm thinking that I must have got a copy from there's a purple bag, blue bag. It's hard to show on camera, but this blue is a nice, really strong royal blue. I really like it. Then there's some, as Ryan Sturm would call them, hobbit-sized cards in here. And then there's a deck of normal-sized cards. Now, the artwork on these cards looks a little, dream-esque, I guess. Like, what does that mean? Or that. But wait, how about that? They look very similar with different various symbols on them. So
looks like a detail spotting game.
Or maybe it's just have to match a card that has the same symbols.
Maybe.
We're just making stuff up because we don't know. We won't know unless it hits the next round. This is Gaga Games, so they're not always the best at rules, but you never know. That's Somnicum. And finally, Cavern Tavern.
You seem excited about this one, Tom.
Well, I've always wanted to work at a tavern. The rules of conduct.
Ooh.
A small board to put cards on. Some colorful sheets of counters.
Someone in the chat has confirmed that for the Dwarves in Trouble game, it was a Kickstarter stretch goal for different box art.
Hang on. I want to get real close to camera so you can see me roll my eyes. So stupid. A bunch of player boards here. Oh, there's two-sided player boards. I don't know what any of that means. And then the actual board. Ooh. You're right. I am like, this is my personal pick, but you don't have to go with what I want because you guys never do anyway.
I love that this is my first official episode, and you're like, you never do what I want.
Nice.
No,
really,
I
he's just talking about
I
me.
meant the viewers. I meant the viewers. I didn't mean Eric. I don't care what. There's also this clock thing, a bag of colored dice, a bag of meatballs and beer, a deck of Hobbit cards that show things like ambrosia and fruit and nectar. Does anyone use the word nectar and not use of the gods like right after it? Syrup
of the gods.
And then we have, I guess these are patrons
of the gods.
Well, this person is singing soulfully. Maybe this isn't the same artist as the other. It sure looks like it though. Here's Wido Wanderfoot. Oh, these must be you. And you can get a hammer and a bracelet. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, these look like they're the people who sit at the thing. This guy's a dwarf, and he wants a hairy-toothed ogre martini. That's what Eric drinks.
When I can get them.
This guy is a halfling, and he wants a cleric's bane elixir.
But bane is so hard to come by nowadays.
This Trobbit, I don't know what a Trobbit is. Is that like a hobbit mixed with a troll?
Fake hobbit. Yeah.
And he wants an orcish gentleman's repast. And this guy wants the decapitated dino.
Is there a pan-galactic gargle blaster in there?
This isn't sci-fi. Why do you always try to mix genres?
Well, how many fantasy-themed fun drink names do you know?
Zinx the Terrified Magician, the Eight-Fingered Dwarf, Red Paladin, Nasty's Rock Colada, Knuckle Blaster, Kilforthian Brandy, Hopping Gnome, Top Shelf Elf. I like that one. The Nimble Wyvern, the Lord of Excess. You probably shouldn't drink that one. And other people in here, objectives and things like that too. All right.
Okay.
So, folks, you are going to kick one of these games out, and then Eric's going to boot one. So you can kick out the one we're looking at right now, the Cavern Tavern. You can kick out the Double Dwarves in Trouble. You can kick out Somne Kum, the Dream Game. You can kick out Enchanters, or you can kick out Temp Work Assassins. I will allow you to say TWA, since that's a long name to type. All right, what do you guys want to kick out? After this happens, then the Eric will pick one of the other ones. And then I'll be left with 3 games out of these 5.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking, Eric? Because you better have 2, because the people might pick yours.
Yeah. I've got my number 1 that I want to get rid of. I have to come up with a good number 2.
Yeah, you probably should come up with your number 2, because I'm guessing your number 1's going to be booted here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming so as well.
You know, I think this game actually looks good, folks, that you are booting out. But it is what it is. All right. Temp Work Assassins was murdered here.
Oh, all right.
Is that your choice, Eric?
It was not, actually. So I got to go with double Dwarves in Trouble.
Are you punishing them for the multiple boxes?
Absolutely. That doesn't make any sense. And they have no clarification on the front or anything like that to say, like, Kickstarter exclusive or, special edition or something. It just, no.
I'm with Eric. That really bugs me. All right, here we go.
If you're going to take it to game night and you got this special thing and people don't even know it's a special thing, what's the point?
Okay, so here we go. We're going to go over these games. First, we have Somnicum, and I'm just going to go through these and assume I know what I'm talking about. In this game, you're going to be putting those cards. Remember those cards I showed you? You put them in a circle like this, and you're going to be throwing those tokens into the cloth bag. Those are magical sand tokens. And so you have goal cards, and you're going to be trying to finish your goal over this game. You want to get the best dream. So on your turn, you're going to take actions where you're going to draw dream particles and add them to cards in the dream. So like you're going to put the tokens on the card itself, trying to match the colors. And there are nightmare cards that are of any colors. And you're going to be moving a pendulum piece around to get to the cards you want and making the dream bigger and smaller, widening the dream. Eventually, you will get these cards. And when the number of cards left in the circle equals the number of players, the round will end. You're going to be building your own little dream, and you'll get points for each level that's in your dream. So these cards are worth points on them. You can see, for example, this one here is worth 1 point. So it's a placement game. It's pretty much a set collection game from my quick overview of the rules. Somnicum. Or Enchanters. This game from Ludi Creations. Ludi Creation makes some good games. So in here, there's 6 decks. Each deck has 25 cards. Oh, I hope I didn't mix those.
Mixed them all.
All right. Everyone's going to get 5 crystals, and then you're going to take one of the decks of cards and make an adventure deck. Oh, no. The chosen decks are... Okay, each person picks one of those decks, and then you shuffle the decks together to make the deck everyone will use.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so that's like an adventure deck, and then you put that out in front of everybody, and on your turn, you're going to make a magical artifact consisting of item cards and enchantment cards. And you'll be taking those and putting them in front of you. You get 1 major action and 1 minor. You'll be paying crystals to take cards or use things to heal wounds. I don't know how you have wounds. You can rest to get rid of wounds or something like that. I don't even care. Okay, so it's one of those games where, see the cards there? You can go down and get cards that are farther down, but then you got to drop. You got to pay crystals between the card that you want and farther down. I like that. I like that thing. It's a Small World does it. Many games have that aspect. There's combat in the game where you'll have to fight a monster or a dragon, and there's a lot of frequently asked questions. There's a pink dragon in the game too. Okay. So how do you win this game? When all the cards have been taken or discarded, you're going to add up the points from your cards. You'll lose points for wounds you've gotten, and you get extra points for those big village cards that we saw. You can also play a much faster game if you want to. So it looks like it's basically just a collect cards, like a set collection style game, but there's wounds and things and different ways to get points. Of course, I could be wrong. I'm just making this stuff up mostly. That's Enchanters. Now Cavern Tavern. The secret of the 5 realms. Is the cavern the secret?
That's where the secret is.
Oh, well, I don't know what the thing is. Okay. So let's see. This is a worker placement game we've already seen from here. And you can see this is kind of how the board's going to be set up over the course of the game. You're going to roll dice, and then you're going to place the dice on the board. So you can take orders. You're going to be taking orders from different of these patrons who come and try to get the ingredients to make the beer of their type. So there's fruits and herbs, syrup, rocks, mead, nectar, wine, elixir, ambrosia, beer, liquor, and spirits. And you're putting those together. But there's also other parts of the tavern you can go to do different things. You can go get orders. You can go get the ingredients. You can, you know what this sounds like, Eric? It sounds like a dice placement version of that speed game I taught you at Dice Tower Cruise.
Oh boy, the Kitchen Rush.
Kitchen Rush. This sounds like a worker placement game. That's the same thing. Go get the orders. Go get the ingredients. Fulfill the ingredients of the orders, and then there's a few other things. But it's a slower worker placement, and you're going up against other people.
Sure.
You also have a nasty track, which is not what you might think. The owner of this place's name is Nasty. That makes a lot more sense than what I had originally thought. And you can get called to his office and get in trouble. There's a kitchen track. There's a little expansion put in here because this was probably a Kickstarter. That's usually what happens when there's like an expansion included. And there's also a way to play it solo.
Okay.
All right. So audience, pick one of those games to get rid of. You can get rid of Cavern Tavern. You can get rid of Enchanters, or you can get rid of Somnicum.
Huh.
Whichever one you get rid of, then the other two, Crystal will pick one and Eric will be stuck with the third one. While people are thinking, Eric, do you feel like you'll get a decent game no matter what?
I think I'll get an interesting game no matter what. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. There's some. I know which one I would pick that I would love to play, but.
Oh no! Now I'm gonna feel bad when I pick said game.
Well, maybe you can come to a deal. Well, it looks like. Oh. Well. Okay. Well, Cavern Tavern is safe. I can tell you that right now. The other two are kind of battling up against each other. Wow. I'm gonna have to hang on.
There was talk of making a poll for this sort of thing.
Yeah, there was. I pride myself on reading quickly.
Straw polls are super easy.
You can do it in YouTube chat? I don't think you can. Okay. Well, I'm going to say that Enchanters is the loser here. Sorry. Enchanters is out. Okay. So that means, Crystal, that you're going to be picking between Cavern Tavern, The Secret of the Five Realms, or Somnicum.
I will admit,
when
we started this whole thing, both of those games looked intriguing, and I think I know that Eric is interested in the same one that I am, and that makes me feel kind of bad.
You won. Go for it.
I know. I love worker placement games. I love dice games. I love thematic stuff, and Cavern Tavern seems to have all of that in spades. So while Somnicum does sound interesting, Cavern Tavern's the one I'm going with.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick as well. It looks like Alien Frontiers, which is one of my favorites, dice rolling worker placement. But this looks interesting as well. And
this sounds like the kind of game you normally review, though, Eric.
It does. This looks like a good fit. So,
However,
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Send these to you guys, I'm going to review them both, and I'll get around to that soon.
And if Tom and I both love Cavern Tavern, Eric, then I will find room for it in my suitcase, and I'll bring it to Dice Tower Con, and I will play it with you in July.
Actually, if I love Cavern Tavern, then I break the game and doesn't get set on.
Okay,
seems like no, I have never done that.
You're the boss.
I haven't done that yet. Pride is a vice? What am I being proud about? I was just kidding. Oh, well, anyway. Okay, folks. Well, we got time for cool questions. All right, so ask some questions away, and we will do our best to answer them. I'm still kind of surprised that you guys have never come across somebody who manages to not help put things away. Like, they don't look like they're not helping, but they just kind of sit there and they're talking. They'll move a few pieces around, and you realize at the end that they didn't do anything.
I don't know. As part of my game group, I like random strangers and stuff. That's definitely happened at like events and things. Like they'll just get up and leave or whatever. But
yeah, I usually get people, that don't know how I want it put away. So they're like, well, what can I do to help? And they just start clustering things that generally fit together.
And Eric's like, stop, I'll put it away myself.
Some help is good.
All right, what do you think of electronic board games like Jackbox?
Love them. Love them, love them, love them. I think all of the Jackbox Party Pack games, and especially when I do game days here at the house and I invite my larger group of friends, so that includes the like hardcore board gamers and the more casual people. Inevitably, the more casual people end up drinking in the living room and playing Jackbox games, and my other friends are playing Euro games in the other room, and it works out perfectly, and I love both, so.
Yeah, I haven't played many.
What's your favorite Jackbox game?
Ooh, I think Trivia Murder Party is probably my favorite, although that one is situational. What's Monster Dating Monster? I don't know if I have the name right, but the Monster Dating one is also surprisingly fun, but it's long. But I mean, there's a couple bad ones, like TKO is not very good, and the sound effect one is horrible. It's never worked well at all. But like the classics, Fibbage and Quiplash are both great. And I love the original. Yeah.
As the Dice Tower staff, when we get together, it's not always like board game time. So I had everybody over for Easter, and we played these games. We played Quiplash. We played the ranking one. I forget what that one's called.
Oh, the bracketology?
Bracketology, and then we played the drawing, the picture one.
Okay, Drawful, I think.
And all three of them went over like gangbusters. My kids were like screaming at us, say, calm down. But everyone had a really good time.
Those games are really fun.
Oh, and everyone has a phone, so everyone's involved. And even if you're not playing, they're still fun to be part of.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed with them.
Is there still a version of You Don't Know Jack available? Are they still making You Don't Know Jack, or is it?
They do have a somewhat more recent one. I think it's maybe now at least a few years old, but it's a modern version of that. The problem with the You Don't Know Jack game is it's less players than a lot of their other titles. So if you have like a big party, I think that one only accommodates 4 or maybe 6 tops, and so that gets tough if you've got a room full of like 12 people.
Right.
Have I picked out a format for the quarterly game show with Eric yet? We've talked about this for very long periods of nothing. Let us finish up their Kickstarter thing first, and then we'll get cracking on that.
Yeah, the Kickstarter backers want their rewards.
And this is one of the rewards.
I need to know, where did Crystal find her shirt? People like that.
I actually got it on Amazon. I can find a link and try and drop it in chat if it'll. Oh, it won't let me drop a link in chat, will it? Probably.
It will not, but people know it's on Amazon. I guess they can look for it there.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. I like it a lot.
Let's see here. If you're at my house after 10, I'm okay with them leaving without helping. That's actually true. I've kicked people out before. Essentially, I'm like, you know what? I'll clean this up later just because I need to end the night. And I'm like, I literally will put it away later.
Do you do the thing that I do though, where I've done that and like left a game set up on a table for like days afterward? Because I'm just like, oh, I really don't want to put it away.
I have children, so no, that has never happened.
We have to help put away the games at my game group because we also have to take down the table. We use a portable folding table, so they need help to dismantle everything. So all the games need to go away first before we can all go home.
Someone asked if there's going to be food trucks near the hotel at Dice Tower Con. There is not. There's a few places to eat at the convention center and hotel itself. I don't necessarily recommend them. They're quite expensive. But there are a few smaller restaurants within walking distance. And if you use Uber or a car, there is literally thousands of restaurants within 10 minutes.
Tons of options.
Maybe not thousands, but hundreds for sure.
Yeah.
And really, the food at the hotel, while it is expensive, like it was decent at least, so it wasn't expensive and horrible.
Yeah,
so.
I think the best option in the resort space is the small cafe deli, where you can get like quick service pizzas and sandwiches, paninis, or even just quick snacks. And that's, I mean, as the prices go, it's on the lower end as opposed to going to one of the sit down restaurants.
Let's see here. How long does it take you to read a new rule book on average?
I mean, that's impossible to answer because it depends on the length of the rule book.
Yeah, really, they're all different.
Right. And whether you need to lay out the pieces and figure things out, or whether you can just read it with looking at a card or two.
Let's see. This person says Earwax was amazing. So they don't know why it didn't work for you.
We tried, and I mean, all the other games work so well, but yeah, that one just not as enjoyable as I wanted it to be.
I need to get Fibbage, I think. So
Fibbage is good.
I might have it.
I think Fibbage, if I remember correctly, so the newest version of it, which is in the Jackbox Party Pack 4, has 2 different modes, and in one of them, it's the normal thing where you're lying about random facts, but then they have like a personal facts mode where they ask questions to the people that are playing the game, and you type in something and then everyone else types in a lie as an answer to that question about that person. And if you know the group really well, that gets incredibly funny.
I think we'll have to try that one next time.
It's good.
Did you have a favorite April Fool's gag this year? I normally hate them all because they're not really gags. They're just basically people saying, we're doing something funny. We're doing, there's like some news announcement, but it's not really true, which makes me just disbelieve everything on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for Think Geek's fake products that they release every year, and then they make some of them real. And this year they had, the little magnetic letters that kids put on fridges. They had that, but it was the Klingon alphabet. And I was immediately like, please make this real. I don't even have children, and I want them.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Lego had one that they put up that was a vacuum that self-sorted all of their pieces. So you just stuck them all up, and then they all came out in bins. That was
saw that, and I wish that's one of those times like that's not funny because
you wish it was real. Yeah.
I got to participate in one from Audible. I was on their menus of Newark restaurants that were narrated. It's a free download on Audible's website.
That was pretty
You
cool.
actually did read some menus?
Yeah, I did Mercado Tomato Pie. It's a restaurant in Newark, and I did a section of the menu, and they released it as a download.
Huh. Is it a free download?
Yes, it's free. There's another one that I did a year or two ago that was encyclopedia listings that I also was a part of.
All right, cool. I thought of something else. Anyway, let's see here. Are you going to do this show live at Dice Tower Con? I don't think so, because we're trying to do so many shows. I mean, fine, we'll be there. We'll do the show, but we're just going to call it the Dice Tower Stupidest Game Show in the World. So I just put together the sketch for Dice Tower Con. There's going to be other little shows that go on, but for the shows I'm involved with, Wednesday night we're doing live in-person Magical Athlete.
Ooh.
Okay. And I already have. You're going to get to roll the dice, and the players will move on the board. Let me give you some clues to some of the players. They're 4 very loud, obnoxious people.
Uh-huh.
That's 4 of the people. I need to find the other 2 yet. But I might have them hit each other, so I have to figure out who's going to be down there. So we're going to have Z and Sam and the Murph brothers.
Wow.
Makes me laugh just thinking about it. Oh, okay. And then after that, we're doing the Stupidest Game Show in the World, where everyone can get involved, and Eric and I do all sorts of things. Where last year we had one of the tensest moments ever in a game show ever with Giant Jenga. Remember that?
Yes.
Where the lady who was playing had to move 6 blocks?
Something like that. It was crazy.
And everybody thought she was going to fail.
Yeah.
And she did not. Very impressive. Thursday night is the Dice Tower Awards. That's the only thing really that night. There might be some. That's the only big thing that night. Friday is going to be. Oh yeah, I haven't told Eric he's doing this yet, but he is. First, we're doing the charity auction for Jack Vessel Memorial Fund, and then we are doing a top 5 list. Okay. Where the Dice Tower hosts are going to come up and give our top 5 overrated games.
Oh, good.
You won't get any pushback on a list like that at all.
We have never gotten pushback pretty much on any list we've done.
Sure.
Okay, and then Saturday, there'll be some other things going on Saturday that I'm not involved with. But those are the main things. Car World Championship. We'll release this stuff as time goes, as we get closer. Oh, let's see here. Bebop or Rocksteady? I would go with Bebop.
I like
which one? Bebop's the pig, right? And Rocksteady's the rhino?
Yeah.
I'm a Rocksteady gal.
Rocksteady had the cooler glasses, I think.
His animation in the video game was better too.
Someone else pointed out at Dice Tower Con at the hotel, if you stay there, which you should because it helps us out. It's also because the more people have rooms, the better our prices can be. But also in every room is a fridge, which is amazing because you can just go to the nearest Publix and get a whole pile of food, and then you can save a ton of money.
Sure. Certainly have like 1 or 2 meals a day that way.
Yeah, there was a coffee maker, a microwave, and a fridge. So you can do a lot with that.
Let's see here. Early picks for Spiel des Jahres 2018.
Oh, boy.
Azul, hands down. I think it's going to win.
I was going to say Azul.
Aha!
Azul is, I am amazed at how well it's doing. It is like this phenomenally, we're talking Splendor-sized hit, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's tickets around yet, but it's big.
I mean, it's really good. And I think it will have longevity that Splendor maybe didn't have as much. Because I think Splendor kind of fell off for some people after repeated plays, and I feel like Azul will have a little bit more staying power.
I think you're making that up, but no, I don't think so. I think Splendor is still around now. People are still playing Splendor.
I mean, I know people like me got sick of it pretty quickly.
I can see
Well,
giving Azul as a gift to a lot of people when next Christmas comes along. I think I'll probably be buying at least one copy of that to give.
I think they're both good games. I like Splendor better myself, but I think Azul is really doing well. Let's see. Eric, what do you do if you get a sore throat
Haha.
with your job?
Well, I actually, you may have heard, I've been coughing a little bit. I'm getting over a cold. I had to cancel 2 days of recording last week because I got something and got all stuffed up and couldn't talk. I can't work because nobody wants to hear me narrating a book and sounding, nasal and, if a character's nasal, that's one thing. But if it's not supposed to be nasal, I shouldn't sound that way. And so I have to actually cancel days of recording, and I've been playing catch up. And then I just have to drink a lot of tea and take care of my voice, do shorter sessions. I stopped recording at like 2:00 today so that I could rest my voice, knowing I'd be talking tonight, and just try not to overdo it and get better as quickly as possible.
Going to a small convention soon, says Lindy. I went last year and had several uncomfortable gameplays. Is there a polite way to leave a game when it starts to be a bad experience for all involved?
I think it's a tricky subject.
Yeah, if it's everybody that's not doing well, then you can sort of gauge that and say, you know what, we don't have to continue. The problem is when only 1 or 2 people are having a terrible experience and there's the other half of the table that still wants to keep going. I've had those experiences where we're like, that this isn't really working, and somebody else is, I kind of want to see how this all plays out, and you're stuck there for another hour.
Well, and it kind of depends on what specifically is making the situation uncomfortable, whether it's you don't like the game or there's some kind of an interpersonal issue going on. Because when it's you don't like the game, assuming the game length isn't anything crazy, I would say most of the time, just to be polite, you would probably want to stick it out. But if there's some kind of an interpersonal thing going on where someone is being inappropriate or rude, and let's say somebody has already spoken up and tried to address that issue and it hasn't resolved, I would say at that point it is appropriate to politely excuse yourself from the situation and then notify the people working at the convention as well to let them know that happened. Because as somebody who runs a small convention, that's stuff that people who run those events want to be aware of so they can help take care of it when it does happen.
I will say, though, that I get a little worried that you said that you had several of these experiences. And maybe it's possible, because I've had good experiences at con and bad ones, but I very rarely have several bad ones. And maybe you're being a little too... Maybe I got to be careful how I phrase this, but maybe your standards are too high. Like maybe you're just used to playing with people a certain way. Like this person kind of pushes the game to be faster. And you're like, man, I wish they would stop that. Or like, for example, I like to trash talk a lot in games, but I've played games before where I've noticed that, wow, those people were not in the mood for that. So I was hopefully aware enough to change my tune halfway through, but the other person may not recognize that. And especially I found a lot of people are annoyed by stuff and they don't ever tell anyone they're annoyed by stuff. So I don't know.
That's a tricky situation because people don't want to be rude or, impolite if the thing that somebody's doing is theoretically within the spirit of the game, like, light ribbing and trash talking, that's not necessarily an improper thing to do. So even if they're bothered by it, maybe they don't want to speak up because they don't want to cause that tension for the rest of the group. So it's tough.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Eric, someone says you look like a Kingsman with your new glasses.
Well, thank you. I guess that's what I was going
They do look like the Kingsman glasses.
Yeah, they kind of do.
They are a much, much bolder frame than I used to have.
All right, so if you make every day at the Dice Tower, is there a specific day that shouldn't be missed?
Of the convention?
I don't know. For me, the most exciting day is usually Friday.
That's the charity auction, right?
Yeah, the Jack Vassal Memorial Auction is really fun for us to do. We have fun, and we make money for the Jack Vassal Fund every year. But it's fun. You'll come into it, and if you're coming into it looking for a deal, probably not the best place.
But if you want to see Tom try and make me pass out by naming as many games as possible in one breath, that's the place to be.
And honestly, it was really exciting because last year was the first year I got to attend Dice Tower Con, and I went to the Jack Vassell Memorial Auction, and seeing people stepping up and offering large amounts of money for, cool items, but still way more than they are worth. Like, it's just, there's an excitement in that room that is palpable, and it is really quite an event. Even if you don't have the money to offer for some of those things, I highly recommend, if you're at Dice Tower Con, go sit and join in just to watch, because it's a neat thing.
Yeah.
And I forgot last year, but this year I'm bringing the original gavel, Dice Tower Hammer of Judgment, to auction off.
Oh.
Eric's also going to auction off his original copy of Merchants of Venus.
What?
Yes, Eric's Tom's definitely not sick of making fun of Eric. Perfect. Proof.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. A lot of people asking about our next marathon. I keep telling people it's in winter. We're way far away because we're doing a lot of other stuff around right now. People are talking about Azul here for a lot. Witches of Serengula will win this Spiel des Jahres. Wait a minute, isn't that garbage game we just played?
Yeah. Serengula.
The chat's got jokes.
All right,
I want to come to one of your all's marathons. I wish I didn't live on the exact opposite side of the country, because I would love to join in on one of those.
I'm hoping to get it on the calendar.
So the live marathon?
Yeah, the live marathon. It would be fun.
Okay, it's okay. This person says it's okay to verbalize that you're not having a good time. See if you're not the only one who's having that bad time. I think if you don't like the game, let's say it's the game that's a problem, I think that's okay to verbalize as long as you don't harp on it the whole game. But sometimes someone has said this game's really bad, and then someone's just like, "Oh, I thought I was the only one."
Yes.
All right. And remember, folks, we're not answering every question here. So if you're asking, some people ask like very specific things, like recommend a game. That's like our whole channel is recommending different games for different things. So, any tips to get the most out of stuffed fables? Eric is the champion at that.
Wow. I've found that it's useful for parents who are playing with young kids to pre-read a little bit, know what's coming up, know how long the chapter is. And sort of know maybe where to take a break in between pages. It's you don't want to take a break when there's only one page left, but you want to sort of go halfway through an adventure. Be sure to gauge your kids' involvement, and when they start to get antsy, that's when you should take a break. I find that's probably the most useful thing. Tom, I found out I played a rule wrong on Stuffed Fables.
What?
Yep. You have to give.
Tell me more.
You have to give stuffing. When you give stuffing to another player, it has to be one of your stuffing pieces. You don't just get it from the bank. I played that wrong.
That makes the game way easier.
The way I did it, yes. Although it means your stuffing rolls, you roll white dice at the beginning of your turn, it makes them land more often because everyone would have fewer stuffing. But still, I did play it, and it was easier for us. We played easy mode, apparently.
That's fine, though. And here's the thing. I don't really care about that. I mean, I'm just joking. Eric got the rule wrong. This game is an experience with your kids.
Yeah.
I don't care if you get it right or wrong. This is the same way I feel about any cooperative game. If we beat a cooperative game and it was like this miraculous win, blah, 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 and someone comes out and says, well, you probably would have lost if you kind of broke this rule over here, then I will say, take this pen and stab yourself briefly while I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm feeling violent tonight. It's because I did my taxes today. That's what it is.
You got to take out that aggression somewhere.
That'll do that.
Although the lady was super helpful, nice, and then she was like, "Thanks for being understanding about this." I was like, "Well, this isn't your fault." She said that she gets yelled at by a lot of people. Yeah, I guess the tax code is a bit insane. It's like a Euro game. I should have Jason do my taxes. Ooh.
Min-maxing your taxes with Jason Levine.
He's sitting there. Why the government owes you $50,000? How'd you do that, sir?
I'm sure you won't get audited. This is a brilliant idea.
Let's see here. Okay, this is a question I've been asked. I don't know if Eric's answered it. Is Stuffed Fables enjoyable for adults without children?
I think it can be. I've played it with groups of adults, and they had a great time. It is designed for adults and children to play together. I think that's the sweet spot. That's what it's gauged for. I did note that Plaid Hat has released hard mode rules. If you're playing with adults or experienced players and you want to make it a more difficult game, you can. I mean, you need to be willing to play a game that's about stuffed animals protecting their little girl. But if you're up for that, then yeah, it's an enjoyable story. I enjoyed it. I think it works as a game. But it's made for an adult child audience.
So since it's made for that, then why bother playing it? There's so many other games you could play. That's what kind of boggles my mind is we're like, well, we must play it. Well, why?
Well, there are people that want to play the game. They just don't have kids to play it with.
Yeah, okay, I can see that, I guess. But there's a lot of kids games out there that I don't see people fighting over. It's always weird to me that there's certain kids games which are cool for adults to like. For the longest time, Looping Louie was one of those games. Like, oh, I love Looping Louie. Oh, yeah. And I like this game, but there's a ton of great kids games out there that I don't see adults playing. Why are some of them like, ooh, I play like Looping Louie, or I don't get it.
Rhino Hero.
The ones that have the silly factor, I think, and the dexterity ones tend to lend themselves to an adult audience in addition to a kid audience. And it levels the playing field when you're playing with kids, but it's just ridiculous when you're playing what's the game with the egg carton, the dancing eggs. Just a group of adults playing that game is just funny to watch.
Yep.
Well, okay. Tortoise and Hare, yeah, Looping Chewy. That's when Han Solo was caught stealing cookies. And they asked him if he had stolen the cookie, and he said, no, it was Chewy.
Okay, yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
I'm laughing on the inside.
Hey, someone just mentioned not a game, but every holiday the adults steal the kids Bop It. I have R2-D2 Bop It. You twist him, pop him, pull his leg or whatever. 3 things. I was very proud of myself. I had all the kids beat. I got to like 42 or something. Well, recently I came home and 2 of the kids have told me they got to 100, which is where it stops. It's ridiculous. No, they did do it. I watched them.
They got to 100. Dang.
Yeah, you know what? They also beat my scores on the Switch. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
This is why you do what I do and not have children and then buy a Switch and you're the only person who plays it, and it's wonderful.
Yep. My son went through all of my old Mario Kart records and beat them all. That was his quest. I'm just going to beat all of Dad's records on Mario Kart.
That's great.
All right. Well, that's what that is. All right, folks, we're going to be ending this here. We're going to be doing this in soon. Oh. No, your video did not freeze there. Well, I was going to say 2 weeks, but 2 weeks is going to be a little hard for us to pull off since I will be in Niagara Falls at that point in time.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some fun shenanigans with the podcast as well, with some host switching.
Right, so keep an eye out. I'm going to say just off the cuff that it's going to be in 3 weeks, but then again, Eric is doing stuff, so I can't remember what's happening. So we'll figure it out. We will announce it. But here's the thing, folks. You can keep an eye on when these things happen now. Go to dicetowerlive.com, and we're going to keep track of our live things. We're trying to schedule them earlier so you can see when things are going to happen. And so on the next one, I will have these 2 games plus the game I didn't review last time. So I'll have 3 new games reviewed. Also, Crystal promises to review whatever that thing is, the plane game.
Island Hopper covered in peanuts.
And Eric will have nothing to review because I won't have to set the game still by that time.
I've got one waiting right here. It's ready to go.
What game?
Chariots of Rome from Victory Point Games.
That's not from the contest.
No, it isn't. I just have it because I wanted to show it to you people.
Well, quick, show it.
What a tease.
I really just wanted to show the fact that Victory Point Games is making games in real boxes now. Look at this. It's no cardboard with a sleeve over it or a baggie. This is like
That's a
actually
victory point
produced-
game?
This is a victory point game that's actually produced like every other game. It's madness, I tell you. It's got a real board and everything. Look at this. That's a board. It's a game about chariot racing.
I got that for the title there. Thanks.
Yeah. It's a little like Formula D. You change your speed and you had to go around the curves. And if you're going too fast around the curve, you have to draw from a hazard deck that might cause you to swerve out of your lane or take damage. And it's sort of a resource management game. So it's one of those racing games that Tom hates because it's slower than you want it to be. It's a very thinky race game.
I don't necessarily hate those. I just don't like them as much as faster racing games.
We did like a 2-lap race, and it took a little longer than I think I would have liked. It wasn't terrible, but it's very thinky. It's one of those where you look at it and go, all right, I'm 9 spaces from the curve, so I want to shift to this gear and earn this stat. And but there is, if you crash, you roll a die to see what happens to your rider. It doesn't have any gameplay effect at all, but you can find out if the guy lives.
Oh,
well,
gosh.
you know what? I actually like that sort of thing.
It's a well-produced game, and I got to give them kudos for stepping up production on this latest batch of games. So that's Chariots of Rome.
So several conventions coming up in the near future. I'll be at the Gathering of Friends, which is a closed convention. I'm trying to do a sneak trip to Snakes and Lattes. If we do that, we'll announce that soon. And then that's everything for April. In May, I have 4 conventions in a row.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's my own fault. First is CMON Con. So me, Sam, and Z, and some of the other folks will be there. Roy and Robert and Mark Street. CMON Con. Then the week after that, I'm just me. I'll be sneaking into the
bank.
Arch.
St.
Louis Arch.
Geekway to the west.
Geekway to the west.
Geekway to the west. I've never been there. I heard it's really good. And then the week after that, I'm going to be at a homeschool convention in Orlando. So if you happen to be going to that. And then the week after that, I'll be at the UK Games Expo. And then the week after that, I'm going to breathe briefly. And then the week after that, we're going to Origins. Very exciting.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's why Eric and I haven't planned that quarterly game show yet. But it's coming. We'll get on it. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Crystal Pisano.
And I'm Eric Summerer.
And you've been watching Dice Tower Tonight.
Thanks for watching. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. Tom and I, and Crystal as well, I think, will see you in a few weeks for another installment. Our show is supported by viewers like you. Thanks. Dice Tower Tonight is produced by Tom and me, with assistance from Derek Porter and Rob Searing. Sudden meetings with underwear salesmen provided by Brief Encounter. Timothy Pinkham composed our theme, and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com. Give us your feedback on the Dice Tower Guild at Board Game Geek on Facebook or Twitter, or by emailing us at dicetower@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find something new at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all of us at the Dice Tower, have fun.
Have fun
gaming. I would play Brief Encounter.
His pun was in the list from earlier with the animals, and he didn't even get it. Like, come on. Reef Encounter was in there, wasn't it?
It was. Shame, Eric. Shame.
Of the gods.